All right, welcome back. In this session, we're going to talk about GDPR, and it stands for General Data Protection Regulation. Why we are talking about GDPR? Because as a DevOps or a SecOps engineer, few of the responsibility overlaps also, and you might have heard, okay, we need to have our data compliant with GDPR. You are being asked to make sure that your data is GDPR compliant, and all you do is all right, I'm gonna keep the data in some sort of region, be it West Europe, North Europe, basis on the European nation. So first of all, it is my understanding, and I took a moment to read through the documentation, and I thought I'll quickly condense down the few of the key pointers to you also. So the first law which came about data was around 1995, 1998, and after 20 odd years, GDPR came into the picture. It is primarily for European countries, and now, despite of whatever Brexit result was, UK has now also agreed to comply with the GDPR also. All right. So how it is impacting us? So first thing first, it was after 20 years, it got some new stringent data law got implemented. It got implemented on 25th of May 2018, so roughly after 20 years of initial data protection act which was launched over here. All right, so I'm referring a documentation of Elasticsearch. However, it kind of the pointers kind of remains valid for majority of the data protection which you should be interested about. So how does that affect people, or how does that affect customers? So if you have a customers or clients, or you as an employee working into any of the EU establishment, now includes UK also, you are directly or indirectly affected whatever the law comes under GDPR. So primarily establishment without EU presence, but EU customers, visitors are subject. So yeah, those kind of valid for you. Whom it is not affected: establishment with no EU presence or no EU customers. So if you don't have any EU presence, no clients, no customers, no visit, you don't have any effects on GDPR. So Indian customers, Asian customers, it not have any effect of GDPR. So what's in scope? So any personal data collected by company falls under GDPR. Now, these personal data could be anything, could be not only name or email address, but also responsible when it comes to racial, ethnic, religion, or political or biometric information. Now, these are called as identifiable names or identifiable person, a person who can be identified directly or indirectly, particular by reference to an identifier, not only names, location, data, but also genetic, mental, economic, cultural, and societal identity as well. So the first thing first, when it was launched, whom it is affected: European countries and European customers, clients. What's in the scope? It's primarily the data subject, the identifier subject, which not only name holds name, but also other parameters also. All right, protecting the rights of data subject. Now, as an individual, as a customer, you could be you could be user of any of the application, right? That makes you as us also a customer, and we should be aware about our rights as a GDPR rights for any individual: right to be informed, right to be right of access. Right to be informed means we should be aware about any changes. Now, if you're receiving any emails about law protection and all, that is part of GDPR. If you're seeing that cookies are being collected, if you see those disclaimer while accessing any application or website, that is also part of GDPR. Raise right to rectification, right to restrict processing, data portability, right to object, right to erase, which means you can ask your application provider, or whosoever, whatsoever application or data you are consuming, you can ask them to erase the data. Now, there are certain exemption also, I guess. The police, government, the journalist, and the hospitality sector, hospitals and medical sector are exempted from this. So now these are the seven, eight odd features which we have as an end user to be aware about. Now, granting new access, GDPR requires the data controller and data processor um, to be more transparent how they collect data, they process data. That's why you see now people are the application owners are very finicky about what they are accessing. If they are accessing your contacts, they give you a legit reason why they are accessing your contact. If they are accessing your camera, they give you a legit reason. This is the reason why they are accessing camera as well. In case of any data breaches, you should be told within 72 hours. So any as a customer, you are obliged to be known that within 24/7 hours, within 3 days, your data was breached or any of the data breach happened. If any of these compliance are not adhered by the GDPR, the companies who needs to fall under GDPR compliance, they would be given a penalty of 20 million or 4% of companies' annual worldwide revenue. And you can imagine how much it could be. Whichever is larger, they have to pay that. Recent 1.2 million US dollar euros were fined to Facebook by Spain's data protection agency. So yeah, it's no more a fun game. It's the company has to be really cautious about what they are doing. All right, so yeah, and how does companies should protect our data? They should have minimalistic control over our data. They should have a majority of the compliance in terms of data protection, cryptography protection, access control, logging of whatever is happening, monitoring and detection, resilience, and data recovery as well. So, all right, that was primarily about how your data is being used. Now, you could always go ahead and read the entire documentation, but this is how I just wanted to condense down everything what I could understand. I thought will be beneficial for people who are struggling to understand what data compliance under GDPR is. I hope this was informative. Thank you. Leave a comment if you find there was something missing or you want to see something more around GDPR, let me know on the comments. Thank you.